because of the cold, but maybe let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for 3 days. I did do some exercises inside. Happy day. Ruthie Rocks, Ruthie Allbrand, joining you on last Monday before Christmas, December 20th. Oh my goodness, 11 days left in this year till 2022. How wonderful. I'm going to do a sound check real quick. Quickly. So let's see. Whoops. See my group. Testing. Come on. Work, please. Please work. See my group. Testing. Yeah, it's working. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I love this time of the year. And normally, John and I put up a huge tree. And in our travels, since 1987, which is almost, 34 years together, we have accumulated ornaments from the places that we visited. Now, I'm not a world traveler. I did go to Monaco, and I did not get an ornament. Looked for one, but I couldn't find one. It was in the summertime, and normally resorts have those, but it didn't. But anyway, that's beside the point. So we love putting up our tree, but this year we're fixing our garage door, and when they had to tape everything off and board up the front of the house, looks terrible. But anyway, it'll be wonderful. We can get our car in the garage, and I'll have my workout facility in there. But in the meantime, we can't get to our tree. And John loves Santa Clauses, and usually we got Santa Clauses all over the house and whatever. So I hope you all have presents under your tree. What is going on? We are down to 24 days of inventory, which I'm not surprised because it is Christmas time. And we only listed 12 homes over the weekend that were 400,000 or under, which gives us a total, though, of 557, which isn't too bad. It's actually more than we had the other day. So I would expect some things fell out of escrow. I don't know. These numbers, I get them from the same place all the time, but sometimes they don't make sense to me. We have 3,123 available homes within the Las Vegas and Henderson area. Again, I only use those zip codes that cover our valley. I don't go to Pahrump. I don't go to Mesquite. I don't go to Boulder City. So my numbers do not reflect that. Now, if you go to applied analysis, my numbers and their numbers are pretty close. But they don't tell you where they get their data from, which I'm going to, if I can remember to tell the folks over there, my connection, Dennis, I don't know if he's still there, but anyway, to give us what the criteria is, because people go on realtor.com and they see like, oh, we got all these homes, but we don't. And then they come here and they say, well, you got all these homes, but we don't. No closings registered over the Saturday, Sunday, but we did put 80 under contract. One was a high rise, 10 were condos, 64, yay, were single family homes and 5 townhomes. And we listed 5 high rises. We listed 10 condos, and we listed 53 single family homes and 5 townhomes. So again, we're still churning away. We're still selling $4.5 million homes a day. That number just doesn't change. It's amazing to me. And I double check the statistics once in a while. Like I'll go in and I'll actually look at the listings, and sure enough, they're there. They're legitimate. It's amazing how many of them are over 3 million. If you look at December, we've done 2,308 closings, and that's an average of 123 a day. We've sold year to date 48,990 homes. That is so amazing, everybody. 138. It went down a little bit because December's pulling that average down. 139 a day. Last year we were doing 106, 107, of course, with the closures and the pandemic shutdowns and things like that. However, last December we outpaced this December. We closed 125 a day. I guess some pent up stuff there. If you listened to, and I was hoping Jimmy Degg was going to be on today. Jimmy and I are doing a class today on law, and I was hoping he was going to be here today because I wanted to know his opinion of the bold predictions that Brian Buffini did, which I listened to that again this morning when I was doing my long walk. Some of the things that I think that people need to be aware of um, is being able to listen to that podcast maybe a couple times, digest it, and be able to articulate it to the clients, especially the first-time home buyers, because we are going to be pricing some of them out of the market when the interest rates edge up. And I think it's important that you understand why Dr. Jung is saying that interest rates are going to edge up. It's because the government is not going to be buying as many mortgage-backed securities. So when that happens, the rates rise. And what's between that jargon, I'm not sure. Marketing Max tries to explain it to me. I need it. I think it's more than just an explanation. I think you have to probably take a course on it. But nevertheless, he says homes are going to rise. Oh, probably interest rates are going to rise. Probably you're going to see it inching up to 3.7 by next December. And I believe Buffini thinks it's going to go up a little higher than that. There are so many different moving parts here. There's core inflation, there's production inflation, there's consumers inflation, and all those different tiers and how they affect us. I have to listen. Well, like I said, I think I need to study that more than just listen to what they say, because I'd love to be able to understand what's behind the numbers. Anyway, you need to prepare people. The market is going to level off, according to Dr. Jung. The pricing is going to level off because there's going to be more homes. That there were more new home starts this year, which is good. And forbearance. A lot of the people that were in forbearance are coming out of forbearance. They may not have a job and they may need to sell their home. And I gave that a little bit of thought, and I thought, well, okay, so they're going to sell their home. Hopefully they have equity. I mean, it would be almost impossible that they wouldn't. But they're going to sell their homes. And that's fantastic. But where are they going to go? So you might want to think, if you haven't yet, if you haven't done our class, Be the CEO of Your Life, or if you haven't watched me a couple of weeks ago show you how you back into how you're going to make your money this coming year, by the number of phone calls, contacts, and farming. And so one of the things that I might advise everybody is to start farming the non-owner occupied homes, because those people just might want to buy another house, given that you are telling them, can articulate it clearly, that look, we're going to need more homes to rent. So this might be a great time to buy another investment home. They're already investors, and they may want to do a 1031 tax exchange and move up because their home might have some deferred maintenance, or it might be old, or might not be in the right area that they think that they should be in, whatever. But you should be able to articulate that there is going to be a greater need now for rentals, because we're going to have more inventory, but that's because these people are going to be selling their homes. So I think there's going to be an interesting dynamic going on there, if you can just give it some thought. But I would definitely get my title company, or just, I was telling somebody yesterday, because they wanted to get their title company to do something. I said, I can go into the MLS and get that for you, which I'm going to do for her today. But you can go in there and get the non-owner occupieds, and you can start farming them and say, look, you bought this house 10 years ago. You've got $100,000 worth of equity, and you might think of maybe refinancing that while the rates are still low, because you're going to be able to articulate that the rates are going to go up. So now might be a good time to refinance this house, because you bought it 10 years ago. The rates weren't that different, but it's going to save them, some money. And any kind of money that you save is a hedge against inflation. That's why real estate is one of the best hedges against inflation, because it goes up in value. And you're going to be able to rent the house that you buy, because the forbearance people are going to need a place to live. And we still have 139 people moving here from all over the country and the world. That's another thing we can talk about. But to segue right into there, Californians, if you watched my show on Saturday and you saw Steve Wolfe with Remax Fine Properties, Remax Properties. Let's see, who was he with? I don't like to misquote myself. Let me see. Hang on, everybody. Because you might, he'd be a great source if you know of somebody who's moving to California, and it does happen too. Real estate properties, Steve Wolfe. Yeah, so he was on the show on Saturday, and he was talking about the mess going on in Los Angeles, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. They have people. He lives in his fairly $1.6 million townhome, I think it is, and homeless people come and defecate on his steps and urinate in his yard and whatever, and he calls the police and they say, sorry, unless it's a death, we can't go there because they've defunded us by 30%. So yeah, not a good scene going on there. And he said he was in Vegas a week ago, and he said you go down the streets and your businesses are open, the city is thriving. And in LA, half the businesses are closed, so people have to move. They can't afford to live there anymore. So I don't see, and he doesn't see, actually, it's his opinion because he lives there, that I would like to quote, not mine because I don't live there. But Steve says people are going to continue to move out of Los Angeles area. I think San Diego is different because it seems to be a different dynamic going on there, and I haven't been able to study that. But I do know San Francisco is as bad as LA, if not worse. And that homeless situation, Steve says they try to put homeless camps up, but there's a lot of homeless people that don't want to live there, because if you're going to go into a homeless camp, you can't be taking drugs. You can't be doing prostitution. So there's some strict guidelines, which is a good thing. But then he says, on the other hand, it's not a good thing because those people are still out on the street doing the things that they're doing. And I think California sounds like they might start to be addressing the smash and grab looting that's going on, I call it. But anyway, the point being, non-owner occupieds in Las Vegas, farm them. That should be a very good source of business for this coming year. The other thing Dr. Young said, that we're going to see probably a slight adjustment in pricing. So you're probably not going to get as many multiple offers because with the interest rates rise, the first-time home buyers kind of slide out of the market. Then I heard from another source, but they might adjust the debt to loan ratio. And so that might help first-time homebuyers stay in the market with the increase in the interest rate. So if it's 3 now, it's going to be 3.7 to 4 by the end of the year. It's not the end of the world because, if you look at the interest rates for the past 5 years, we've been within the 5% range. So, which still makes, a home a very affordable place. And if we get over this inflation, which we will eventually, the appreciation of a home is going to still be your best hedge against inflation. John and I have kind of held back from buying an investment home. We own our building, we own our house, and we recently sold some items. But I think we're really seriously considering buying an investment property this coming year. And at my age, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. When you get older, you like to have the cash in case of an emergency, especially health related. But we're thinking about it very seriously and might just do it. I wouldn't mind having that income flow coming in instead of getting 0% interest at the bank. Okay. What else did I want to talk to everybody about today? Again, I was so hoping that Jimmy was going to be here. I know. The other thing I wanted to draw your attention to is the Nerd Wallet. The Nerd Wallet is a site. I think it's nerdwallet.com. And you can go there and it will tell you, how much difference it is to live here versus San Francisco. And we did this in the class Be the CEO of Your Life, and we talked about it's 50% or 25%, excuse me, less to live here than there. Plus housing's 50% less. And you can go there and you can look at the statistics. And if some of the non-owner occupieds that you're calling, live in those areas, then you can possibly tell them, look why people are moving here from California, and the data speaks for itself. And people, they love to know what you know, but they also like to see it in print and on the internet. They believe it. They believe everything they see on the internet, I guess. And then there's another site, moneywalks2.com, and it shows you where money's coming from in Las Vegas. And I showed you this earlier in the year, and I don't have it on my screen today. Again, I didn't know I wasn't really prepared to talk about it today, but anyway, maybe we'll look at it tomorrow, the next day. But anyway, it's really cool because it shows you, where our money is coming into Vegas and where it's going out to. So it gives you, the more data that you can quote or the more sites that you can show people, the better that you are going to be perceived as the expert in your industry. So when you're farming, and especially when you're farming, people that don't know you, they don't know, like, and trust you yet. So the better data you can give them, the faster they're going to want to know, like, and trust you. And of course, the other thing is, Tom Ferry says, and I'm sure I've told you this year, that what you should do is learn how to copy, paste, text next. A lot of times you can get the phone numbers of these people, or you can send them a letter giving them the value of their investment. Tell them that you know how to do a 1031 tax exchange, or a great lender that they could refinance since they bought their home 10 years ago, and that there's a dynamic, vital market here for them to get a renter. I mean, we have one out of hundreds of properties that we manage at our company. We have one available property, and that's because it's overpriced and it's going to start coming down. I met with a gal the other night from California. She's going to let us manage her property. And she says, oh my, how long is it going to take to rent? I says, we'll have it rented within the first month. And she was blown away. But that's the truth, because if you price it right, just to caveat it, it will rent. It will rent. So I hope everybody watched Saturday's show. I'm segueing back and forth a little bit because I'm not as prepared as I should be today. Anyway, Steve was just so, all of his investments, millions of dollars of his investments are here in Vegas. And John has worked with Steve since 1990. And it's a funny story because Steve was a CPA, I believe. Anyway, he says, gee, this is easy. So he got his real estate license in California. And he went with RE/MAX because we were RE/MAX at the time. And he's still with RE/MAX. But he is so grateful that he put all his money here. His residence is in California, but all of his investments are here. And he was just very, very thrilled, and has been, of course, a great friend over the years. And he really digests and absorbs and articulates what's going on in California so well. So if you have time and you didn't listen to Saturday's show, listen to Steve. He's fantastic. One other thing I want to tell you, and then I'll close for the day because I got to run. We have a law class today, which I'll talk about in a second. But what I found out in my research is that there's not very many countries in the world. Now, there's over 200 countries, depending on what source you look at and who defines what as being a country. But anyway, let's say 200. There's 200 countries in the world. There's a handful of those countries that don't do what we call due process. And what does that mean to you? So those countries like Japan, the UK, France, Germany, and of course the United States, those countries I just mentioned, the government cannot seize your property. That's due process. They cannot seize your property without going through due process. Like we have our foreclosure system. And if you don't pay your taxes, yes, the government can, or the city can take your home, the state, the city, the county, depending. So we're one of a few number of countries. So you might want to think about farming, I know, farming, boosting, I should say, targeting those countries with the investment opportunities and the statistics that you're going to digest and be able to articulate to those foreign investors. They are coming back. And I met with somebody on Friday who is in the investment marketplace. And he is amazed at how much money is coming back into this country. And he did his research, and that's where I'm quoting him. And he's very astute and very well read and a great researcher, because that's his business. And that's what he said is, why don't you all target, those countries? Because there's countries out there that can seize your property. So you might want to look up, Google it and do a little research and start targeting maybe some of those countries that have, like Italy perhaps, that have rich, a lot of rich people there that might want to move their money here. The money's going to start moving. The American dollar is still the strongest in the world. So, and Frank said, am I having a show today? Well, I think I am. Hi, Frank. I'm on, I think. Yes. Let's see. Let's tell Frank we're having a show today. Yes, I'm on Facebook now. Okie doke. Yeah, I was just running late today, so I don't know if anybody got my notifications. I love you all. I'm going to sign off because I've got to get in the car, get down to the office, and we're going to have this class. I just love that Jimmy wrote his new class. And, it's his, let's see, what do we call it? We call it, the Attorney General is on line 1. I see you on my phone. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why, Frank. I see on my phone, but I'll see you on Facebook. Okay. So today is the new law class. The Attorney General is on line 1. It is a fantastic class, and you need to understand the law. You need to understand compliance issues. You need to understand where the other agents are getting into trouble and how you can stay out of trouble, and how, again, I'm really getting into this study, digest, and articulate. You get all this information from so many sources, but if you don't use it to your benefit and to the benefit of the people that are moving here to Vegas or want to move out of Vegas, maybe, you want to be able to articulate why Las Vegas is one of the best places to live. Weather-wise, economy-wise, our future. 30% of the people here own their homes free and clear. We have 30% of our community are retirement people. I don't know why. I don't know why, Frank. I know Facebook has made a lot of changes, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I think I mentioned the other day, I don't know if it was in class or on the show, that they are going to make your personal profile also a professional profile, so that there's many people that won't need to have a business page, but if you're in real estate, you do. But there's going to be a lot of changes. So, and I'm not going to attempt to teach that until January sometime, because I've got to go in there and try it myself. Right. All right, everybody. I'm out of here. I will see you soon. Hopefully you're coming to class today. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.